Hello everybody, welcome back to Mama and Lala. Her name's Linda. I've never introduced her before. Last month you saw us go to the bookstore. I was in search of a couple books that I read in that vlog, so I don't need to recap it, but everyone is dying to know your updates. You got the new Robin Hobb, or not the new one, the second one.
Yeah, the second one in the series.
The latest for you in the
Assassin's
series.
Apprentice.
That was the first one.
What's the second one then?
I don't know. Royal Assassin?
Sure.
Something like that.
It was an assassin. It
Yeah.
was an assassin for sure.
Or an apprentice. You also read, the Abby Jimenez.
Yep.
You read Lights Out.
Yep.
And you read Fourth Wing.
I did.
Oh my god, give us all of your updates. Let's start with Abby Jimenez.
It was cute.
Okay.
It was cute.
That sounds like a 3-star. She doesn't rate books, but I feel like that sounds like a 3-star.
3.5.
Okay.
Let's say 3.
Oh my god, we got a number! What about Royal Assassin, if that's what it's called?
I did not dislike it. It was fine.
Okay.
I just felt like 700 pages was a lot.
Was that how long it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was over it at like about 400.
Oh.
But I'm interested enough that I had to finish it to find out what happened.
I do believe that is the common feeling.
Yeah.
Like, she has so many books, and there are certain, like, I don't know, trilogies within the whole thing that people prefer over others. But obviously you need the backstory to get to, like, the really juicy stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like the one I'm reading now is a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like if she had just cut that into 5 books, it would have, like, bite-sized pieces, maybe.
Okay. And then Fourth Wing.
I know you're disappointed in me.
I only know your feelings because I went over to her house and she had bought the second book with her own money. I'm like, every single month this year, I'm going to take you to the bookstore and buy you a book. She didn't wait.
No,
she couldn't wait until today. She had to go buy it.
I wanted it right now.
So how far are you into that now?
Halfway through the second
Oh
one.
my god. And it's just so readable, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. It's just like addicting.
Well, I'm sorry, but the way the way they ended it, like cliffhanger, like, oh my god, I could not know what happened next.
I think that's exactly what happened to Rob, and I think like everybody.
Yeah.
That's just like you have to know everything.
Yeah. Like, how the hell?
I've had Rob spoil the entire series for me, but I definitely can't remember anything that goes on. So I'm glad you're having a good time. I mean, it's dragons and it's fantasy and there's romance. It feels like something you would like. Last update. Our buddy. We buddy read Lights Out.
I want it to be known. She picked it.
I picked it as an option, and then we read the synopsis together, and we picked it together.
Like a good time.
Can you rate this one for the people?
Maybe a 4.
I gave it a 4 too.
When we bought it, I snatched it and took it to read it first.
Mm-hmm.
And she started the audiobook. So then a couple of days later, I brought the physical one to her to read. And she's like, oh my god, I can't listen to that. I thought, oh no.
Well, because like, it's, obviously we knew it's a dark romance.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be like smutty. I don't think I realized it was smut first, plot second.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't really prepared for that. And I was like, I can't talk to my mom about this.
It absolutely earned every one of its 10,000 trigger warnings. Absolutely. And, there's a couple scenes that I'm like, oh my god. But the amount of times it made me laugh.
I know, it was so funny.
Outweighed, yes.
This book was so funny. And there are so many books like this, or that people pitch to me like this, like Butcher and Blackbird. That's like a dark romance, but it's funny. Everyone promises it's going to be like hilarious and you just have to like turn your brain off and like enjoy. I can never do it. I never have a good time reading these books. They're never fun. They're never funny. This was so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like cringy and uncomfortable and smutty. But like, I don't know. There's just something so funny about him like stalking this woman and breaking into her house. But he's also just like a golden retriever. He's
Totally.
like, he's a simp. He just needed somebody to convince him that he wasn't a bad person.
Right.
It's so sweet. That's Lights Out.
Yep.
We highly recommend. Instead of going to the bookstore this month, I figured, I own enough books. So maybe I should shop my own bookshelves. So the theme of the Buzzword right now is eyeballs on the cover and 2 in the title. Because there's a big trend with books right now that are like Emily Wilde's guide to this, and this person's guide to this, and this person's compendium to this.
Okay.
And so guides and maps and stuff was the inspiration.
Instructions.
But so I just chose the word 2 because that encompasses that, but also if you don't have something like that on your bookshelf, you know, you can find 2, like 2 All the Boys I've Loved Before or whatever. So that's what I'm looking for. And I figured you could just shop my bookshelves.
Yeah.
I mean, I own 1,000 books here.
Right.
And we could probably find something that you might like to read. You have to tell us what you're in the mood for.
I heard you talking about legends and lattes. Is that a thing?
Yeah, Legends and Lattes?
Yeah.
Because you're reading the 4th Wing thing, you want something like it, or you want something different from it?
Something different.
But still fantasy.
Well, I know you don't have a spy novel on there I would like.
I hate a spy novel.
Exactly. So I know you're not going to have a spy novel I would like.
Interesting. That's what you'd be in the mood for reading most, a spy novel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Intrigue, espionage.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I know.
We're different.
Yep.
Legends and Lattes. I'll find it.
Or there was another one. Something about aunties.
Oh my god, yeah, you would love that. Wait, have you read Finley Donovan? I've given that to you already. I haven't?
No, you haven't.
The one book you want, I've lost. How does that happen? I will find you the aunties. This one? Interestingly, Dial A for Aunties and Finley Donovan both have something in common with Lights Out that would spoil Lights Out for the people. But I'll tell you.
This is your TBR shelf?
This is my DVR shelf. Thanks for being here.
Is there any system here?
That's a great question. Thanks so much for asking. The top shelf is books that like I already know when I'm gonna read.
Okay.
So they're designated for things. Like right now I'm filming a vlog reading dragon books.
Okay.
And then these are all like planned for videos.
Okay.
The bottom shelf is books that I have read the first chapter of and I think sound really intriguing.
Okay.
So I'd like be down to pick any of them. This is like thrillers. This is, no, it's not really by genre. It was for a minute, but it's not anymore.
Okay. You haven't read Fairy Tale yet?
No.
Oh.
Is that an eyeball?
No. It's not.
All right, well, you can't make me read it then.
It's a stairway. If you squint, it could be an eyeball.
What's funny is my update from last time, the 2 of the books that I bought that I didn't read are right here.
Okay.
Check out those titles.
Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man.
Indeed.
And Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Okay.
So I have 2 options.
There you go.
And I think you have to pick one.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Oh, Lord.
You can't see.
Get my glasses. That one.
She has picked. And the thing about this one is if I picked this one, I would say this has an eyeball on it.
It does.
So I have 2 birds, 1 stone, but that's boring. We have to find an eyeball. First option, ready?
Okay. It's definitely an eyeball.
That's an eyeball.
Yep. Ooh, eyeball.
Gross eyeballs.
Gross eyeballs. She has eyes.
But like anybody has eyes.
It's true.
Eyeballs.
Could be.
What is that? Can you tell me? Because it's disgusting. Oh, it is an eyeball.
It is an eyeball.
There's a second eyeball.
There is.
Oh, there's an eyeball.
I was just gonna say there's an eyeball. Look. No eyes.
Look how many books I have that you'd think there are eyes, but they're not. All right. I am ready to get into my book. My mom is gone. We spent a couple hours hanging out and I'm so excited to read her pick, which is also my pick, obviously, because I bought it. What's interesting about the Buzzword Reading Challenge, I mean, I guess it's not surprising because I haven't read a lot of 5 stars in general this year, but I haven't had a 5-star for my own reading challenge. And I'm desperate for one, and I have decided that this is gonna be it. Heard it's so similar to Emily Wilde, but even more lighthearted, and it gets explicit and steamy, and apparently that's what I think I will love. I really like the dynamic of like Veronica and Stoker and Emily Wilde and Wendell. And I think that this has that because they're like rival, or what are they called? They're like bird catchers or something. And there's this evil, fantastical bird. It's a competition of who can find this bird. We have Beth and Devin, Professor Beth Pickering. She's so pretty, so polite, so capable of bringing down a fiery, deadly bird using only her wits. They're professional rivals. The competition is Birder of the Year. They have to capture an endangered Caladrius bird. So there's going to be like other competitors in the game. So they each want to win, but they each find each other irresistible. I'm going to have a great time. I know it. I know it. And I guess you could say there is an eye on the cover. So if I wanted this to fit for both things, then I would. But I don't. Oh, what's that? 100 pages in and I'm obsessed. So obsessed that I'm thinking about restarting and reading the first 100 pages again. Yeah, that's me. The weather is so perfect. And by perfect, I mean it's pouring rain. It's so cozy. I'm snuggled up with a blanket and this is all I want to be doing. And I'm so happy to be liking it. The last book that I read was Lights Out. And it was a 4, but I still like think of it so fondly that I just feel, it feels like I'm reading back-to-back hits and I couldn't be happier. I'm having a great time. Oh, should I tell you about it? Yeah, let me tell you about it. Okay, so it is this competition, the best birder of the year. But the thing about the book is it's not taking itself very seriously. It feels kind of like reading The Princess Bride. It's like very aware of its reader almost. Everything's really tongue-in-cheek. And there's a competition happening and there's all of these people up against each other, but there's also people who are like running the competition, but also people who are running like publications who are talking about the competition, and like everybody wants the competition to be as interesting as it can be. So there are like kind of spies who are keeping an eye on the competition, who can like spread the word to the newspapers to write about them. And knowing that there might be a romance budding between two competitors is like the way to make the competition sound the most exciting it possibly can be. So everyone's like following these two around and trying to like pretend they don't know who they are. They're like, oh, you can come stay at our hotel, but there happens to only be one bed. Oh, you're just some random two people who have come here, knowing full well that they are like well-known not sure what accent that was. Well-known ornithologists who are in this competition, and they're trying to make it juicier to follow along by like only providing one bed at the hotel. They have the most fantastic banter. She is very like polite and apologetic and always just very kind to everyone. And even when she's like stealing wagons from people because they have to go accomplish a goal, she's like saying sorry. She's very well liked, but also like a little awkward around people. I just love their dynamic. It's giving me exactly what I had expected from it. And it feels like a satirical take on books that I've read in this vein. So having a great time. The sun is setting. I'm trying to take my time through this book because I really don't want it to be over. I'm getting a 5-star feeling at like halfway through. My favorite moment so far that really embodies like what the book's vibe is was at the end of chapter 9 when, I don't know if this isn't a spoiler, like it's a romance, right? So they do kiss at a certain point and Devin is just showing a lot of interest towards Beth and isn't shy about the fact that he's interested in her and is trying to get her to understand, is very flirtatious and bantering with her. Like she will mention something offhand about something and he'll bring it up later and be like, oh, I thought you were trying to court me. You know, they have a little intimate moment and then he goes to bed and she just, her thoughts begin to spiral. She remembers like her childhood and how people were mean to her. She was bullied and she was like, nobody could possibly like me, like I'm too awkward. And she says, no doubt Devin had only danced with her because he was rather drunk and she just happened to be there. As for the kiss, it was meaningless, an accident of circumstance. She should not harbor any foolish hopes. After all, the man was forever staring at her, thoroughly dumbstruck. He called her Angel, which suggested he could not remember her name. And he was currently hunched so tightly at the other corner of the mattress they could have safely run a flock of geese through the space between them. The conclusion was undeniable. He disliked her entirely. I love the stakes involved. A lot of books that I've read like this are mystery focused. They're murder focused, a murder mystery, if you will. And the fact that there is no murder is great because the stakes feel appropriate. Like they are just getting distracted by their flirtatious banter. And it's not like in the back of their head, they're, oh yeah, someone's missing. We have to go figure that out. And I'm like, as the reader, you need to like, I can't get distracted from like the deadly circumstances. In here, there are no deadly circumstances. This is not a dire circumstance for them. They're not in danger. And also like finding this bird is more of an interest point to them. Like they will gain things and there's a point to it, but no one is in danger. And it really does have the vibes of Veronica and Stoker and Emily and Wendell, so much so that I'm certain this author has read those books and maybe wanted to give a more adult take on that. I've heard it does get explicit, and I'm hoping there's just like one scene and it doesn't turn really smut. I don't expect it to, but this could really be like a 5-star. Okay, but as far as the dynamic, it's the exact thing that I love in those other 2 series, where the male love interest is constantly challenging our main character, who is very intelligent and knows what she wants and knows what she's doing, and he pushes her and challenges her, but at every single turn also trusts her implicitly. When she actually shares her opinion or her expertise, he's like, yeah, got it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, we're gonna do exactly what you said. At the end of chapter 13, you're in his thoughts and there's like things that are scratched out because he just can't stop thinking about her and obsessing over her. And that style just really exemplified his thought process. And I'm having a great time. Oh my God, I just remembered. I had the worst dream last night. I was like sitting around with my husband. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know where we were, but I had this like thing pop out of my body, like push out of my body, like in my stomach, and it was the exact shape and size of like an eyeball, and it was protruding. And Dream Rob was like, oh, that's a hernia, like that's a problem, let's go to the doctor or whatever. And before we could go, it like sucked back into my body and then popped up somewhere else. It was like coming out of my chest, and then it was coming out of like my arm, and it was like popping up different places. There was only one, and it would like disappear and I wouldn't know where it was going to come from. It was like tremors. And I was like, Rob, I don't think this is a hernia. And then as I'm standing there, I'm like holding on to his arms and I'm like, I'm worried, like something bad is happening. It pops up like in my throat and I'm suffocating in my dream. Like I can't breathe. I can't move. It's like sticking out and I'm like panicking and I'm shaking him and he won't do anything because I think he thinks I'm faking it, like he doesn't know what's going on. And I'm like, I can feel it. It was like my tongue was humongous, like that was the feeling in my dream. And then I woke up like gasping for air. Oh my God, it was the worst. Literally maybe a month ago I was talking to Rob and I was like, if I was having a medical emergency, do you think you would know? Like do you think that if something horrific was happening to me and I like couldn't communicate to you, do you think you would just call 911 and you would like help me? Or do you think you would just stare at me like think that I'm pranking you or something? I don't know why that randomly popped into my mind, and then while I was in the dream I was like, do something, but I couldn't talk. Oh my God, I think there's something there's some type of message you can take away from that, some kind of fear that I have, the lack of control, that it was a bad dream. I did not like that. And now I'm gonna read this creepy little eyeball book. Like that was inside my body in my dream. I think this is the right pick. This was on the top shelf because it's what I was already originally planning on reading for this video. It's a short story collection. I just think that'll be so fun. I would definitely read Eat the Ones You Love, if not for being the book club pick next month. This originally was supposed to be it for this month, and this is why I chose the eyeball prompt for May, but I'm gonna put this off because I think this is going to be so fun to talk through chapter by chapter really thoroughly and spoilery on Fable. If you missed the announcement video, the book club is moving over to Fable. The live shows are still the same, but like the discussion that used to be on Goodreads, which I'm sure a lot of people don't even know about because I didn't really spend any time doing it or promoting it. My sweater is not the most seasonally appropriate, but there's an eyeball on it, so I felt like this was the right vibe. I do still need to finish The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. What's fun about this is it's a series, but it's like following different characters in each one. So I do believe this is going to feel like a really satisfying ending, and we're going to get like a perfect arc of everything. Like this is just balancing things so well. The actual plot, there's so much plot, and actually hunting down the bird and like all of the characters that we run into, they're just caricatures. Everyone's like yelling and running around and it's all so lighthearted and goofy, but the romance is also romancing. Like, it's really working. I love it. I don't know if everybody will, but I cut myself off with like 100 pages to go so I could finish it with you on camera and you can see my reaction to the end, because I feel like this is a monumental moment and you need to be here to experience my first 5-star, not just for the Buzzword reading challenge, but my first 5-star in I think 10 weeks. The drought has been truly unreal and I'm just excited to be getting out of it. Because truly each chapter is better than the last. Chapter 19, which I stopped at, was my favorite chapter in the book. It was perfect. There was a really funny moment with like a villainous character, because the villains aren't really villains. Like I said, no one's ever actually in danger, but you think people are constantly in danger. I don't want to give away exactly what happened, but it's kind of like there feels like a threat regularly, and then every single time it's a misunderstanding. There has been a couple moments where the couple is about to do something and they get interrupted. It feels very Disney. But then there's like an innuendo at every turn. At one point, Beth says, perhaps you need to imagine a little. Completely unrelated, not in like a sexual way, but it goes, he blinked slowly, giving her a look absolutely overflowing with imagination. I love them. I love them. I love them. I saw a TikTok the other day that was like speaking on behalf of book influencers. Somebody asked a question that was like, are you really recording yourself reading, or like are those clips like you just take them intentionally to put them into videos or whatever? And the person was like, no one is actually filming themselves reading. Like everything you see on the internet is fake. Like we're just turning on the camera for 5 seconds, like pretending to read and then turning the camera off. And I was like, who's we? Because baby, I'm turning on the camera, I'm letting it flow for like an hour. I have to sift through so much footage because I want to make sure any reactions I have are on camera. And I'm not that good of an actor. I'm dying over this. This is... more pages. There's like a huge chunk, like 20 pages is just an acknowledgement. Oh, I wasn't ready for it to be over. I loved it. I loved it. It's a 5 stars. It really got like the perfect amount of explicit that was appropriate for the book, but felt like a great payoff. There was one of my favorite tropes, which is a trapped in the closet scene. There was a who hurt you moment, but it was like emotional, like who made you feel this way, and I'll kill them. Ugh, I'm so happy to have read this. I don't think I even have any more of a review to give. 1, because I don't want to give away any more of the plot, and 2, there really isn't that much more of a plot. Like they are just very dedicated to each other, to themselves and their studies, to the birds that they're researching. They stand up for everyone and everything. They come upon plenty of obstacles, but they're easy to get over. It was just a very like over the top, silly feeling book. The historical language and setting felt really genuine. I just had such a good time. And now I'm going to switch over to the eyeball book and just read the first couple stories at some point today. I'll probably update you at the end of the day how I'm feeling about it, if I do want to commit to the entire thing in this vlog, or if I'm gonna switch to something else. I don't know, but oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so the other day I got through the first 110 pages of this. which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the stories. And then today, just as I was doing my grocery shopping, I decided to pop in the audiobook so I could keep listening. And the story was called Apples. And I was buying apples, and while I was listening, the person in the story started going grocery shopping while I was grocery shopping and picking out broccoli while I was picking out broccoli, and I didn't appreciate what was happening. That one is actually my favorite of all of the stories, so I'm gonna write my little rating on it right now, which is why I brought it with me. So in case I got through a bunch, I could remember to write on my tabs how I felt about it and like what it was about. This one was about a mother and daughter, and the mother encountered something that let her in on a different like reality, kind of. It's not that deep, it was very real world, but it was a bad thing and a good thing at the same time, and she had to decide if she wanted to like have her daughter also be given this knowledge, I guess. The other stories, let's see. The first one I gave a 3. It was by most of these authors I haven't heard of or I haven't read from before. Susan Barker. It was a really simple haunted story that is kind of a good kickoff for a horror short story collection, so I wasn't mad at it. The next one was 2 stars. It was just like listing a bunch of gory body parts falling off of someone, and like that's not horror that I like. We need to have some substance. We need to have some commentary on something. The next was a 3.5. It was like a haunted house kind of story, and you got to wonder, was the woman losing it or was it the house? Was the man becoming violent or was it the house? It just didn't have the greatest payoff, so it was a 3.5. Then there was another 2-star. Unfortunately, Mariana Enriquez, that one was not for me. I like the idea of it. It was about like there was a character being buried or cremated and they had to make a decision, and then they were kind of using her as this spiritual symbol. The next one was another 3.5. It had to do with domestic abuse and a young child. It kind of paired like emotional with physical instability through the superstition of like this broccoli eel inside the child's body. Then there was a comic, which I don't care for. Then we had apples. And next we have something by Ainsley Hogarth. Oh, we have an Adora Nuora, who I read The House Woman from. Yeah, I don't know anybody else. When I pick up a short story collection, it's good because it introduces me to a bunch of authors to see if I want to read more from them. But unfortunately, at this point, that hasn't really happened for me. Maybe with Apples by Amelia Hart, but I don't know. What I will say about this book is the quality sucks. Like, it's terrible. It's one of those really stiff UK paperbacks. It's just not enjoyable to hold. HarperCollins.co.uk. Okay, I think I'll just continue with the physical copy because it's not worth my Spotify hours. I did it. I finished it. We had a movie night with my channel members for Little Shop of Horrors because next month I'm reading the Eat the Ones You Love book, and it seems to be inspired by it, but I can't wait to find out exactly like how close or if there's any like references at all. And it was so funny because when I was looking up the movie to find it to watch, I found this cover of it, which is a different version. It's like a play maybe, and it's the same cover art as this, so this isn't unique to this book, I learned. Interesting. Anyway, I think it went well. Most people seem to like it. I had a good goofy time, and it's been at least a decade since I've watched it, so I enjoyed myself. As far as the stories, I can't even remember when I last updated you. Maybe like halfway through. So the Ainsley Hogarth got a 4. It was kind of about like a ghost in the woods and escaping a relationship. I gave a 2-star to Shade by Robert Lautner. Don't even remember what that's about now. 4 stars to the Adora Nuora, which was nice. It was really strangely written. And I wrote, it was about the horrors of exploitation. It was the least, I think, traditionally horror. At that point, I wrote it was the least traditionally horror of anything that I read. But knowing now the last couple stories, yeah. Then I gave it 3.5. No reason for that one. 4.5. Okay, so the best one, the only thing that got above a 4 in the entire collection was the one by Lucy Rose, which is intriguing because I have the Lucy Rose full-length novel. Here it is, The Lamb, out from the library. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and read that. This one was about a fisherman's wife, and there was a creature, and it was very strange. I gave a 4 to James Smith's Bob a Job, which felt like something out of Kate Folks Out There, which is my favorite short story collection. It was like sci-fi feeling. There was a man who got a job catfishing, basically, and then transformation occurred. It was very intriguing, but really low in horror, I think. 3 stars to the Levi Tidar. This one was about what was called fairies, but it was a little like simple, not very horror, like childhood. I don't really like children starring in horror books, so that one just wasn't for me. Francine Toon's Ghost Kitchen, I gave a 3. It was written in second person, which was nice. I like that. It was a little too short, so maybe a full-length novel I would have enjoyed. The Old Lion by E.V. Wild, I gave a 3. There was little point to it, but I liked the writing. And then Mouse by Louisa Young, I finished with a 4. Again, felt very low in the horror. So as far as like one full of scares and eerie things and ghosts and stuff, this is not the one. But if you like strange, ambiguous stories, I think you could like it. It reminded me of reading maybe Out There Screaming as far as a collection goes. A little more in the fantasy direction, and the stories, rather than having what I'm looking for in a short story, which is like a twist at the end, a reveal, a like, oh my god moment, they just kind of ended and left you with just a piece of an idea, which isn't my favorite type of horror short story. So overall, I have to give this a 3, which is what a lot of collections get. I'm sad there was only one that was over a 4, but I am excited that that author has a full-length novel, because that's like the whole goal for me reading these types of things. If it's from a bunch of people I haven't read from before, I can move on to something that I think I will like now. All of my friends have been raving about this, so I'm excited. That's it for the vlog. 2 books, 1 video. That's how they work. I will see you in a couple days with something else. In the meantime, let me know what you think I should read for next month's prompts, which I definitely remember. Memory related words. Okay, I have an idea for that one. And then celestial stuff. So the struggle with that is I'm reading these 3 collections at the same time, right? Like if I succeed at reading a memory word and celestial objects, then I read from these 3 series. And guess what? All 3 of the next books are celestial. A Murderous Relation has the stars and the moon. Harrow the Ninth has like this is probably the least, but it clearly is, because there's spacey things happening in the background. And then Magnolia Parks, again, we have stars, we have the night sky. So I am gonna end up reading one of these in the next Buzzword vlog. I've committed to it, but I'll go ahead and let you put in the comments which one you think it should be. Will I actually let you decide? Maybe.